Listen, I've been stuck on this glue dice problem for ages, but now it's all coming together. I'm really attached to these dice. We've bonded. It was time to stop horsing around anyway, and I think this project really holds up. So I'll give you a little dab of wisdom I copy-pasted from a friend that helped cure me from this sticky situation. So you may remember a while back, I was trying to figure out how to get additives to float in the center of dice without any issues, and you could watch in real time how I was failing, even using the glue dice method, which I thought was going to work, but you could watch it float to the top. So that was an issue. I figured out how to use it for different purposes, but I still couldn't get my additives in the very center like I wanted. So a friend of mine, Alphaland, made this amazing response video showing every detail on how they tested a bajillion things, also they have a dog and that's pretty cool, on how to make what I wanted to work. And so they did a huge bunch of legwork for this, and they're amazing. Go check out their stuff. I'll put it in the link in the description below, and I'm going to show you what they showed me. Use more glue. I'm kidding, but kind of not. We're going to go about our normal dice making. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we're not going to make a mess. So let's lay out some parchment paper and get our resin and hardener ready. I still always like to use Envirotex light resin, and I mix it up in a 1-to-1 ratio by volume, not by weight. Make sure you're not mixing it by weight. I do a poor filmmaker's choice and mix in a non-clear cup. I thought it would look cool and golden, but all it does is make my resin look yellow. For this technique, we are officially on the clock. You need to start a clock or a timer or recognize when you started. I'm going to pour some of it in a little cup and then mix up some glitter in the big one because that's the look I'm going for. I'm going for a little bit of this kind of clear glitter and these mica flakes. They kind of look like pearl stuff. And if you've seen any dice made by like Dispel dice or any of the big ones, it's just cut up little versions of the stuff they crumple in their dice to make them look shiny. I think it's really neat. The main thing I want these dice to be though is silver and purple. I have this purple foil that is extremely light and this purple alcohol ink. I'm going to mix that up in the tiny little cup. You don't need to kind of cut this up ahead of time. Just mixing it up within the resin will break it apart. It's so fragile. So I mix it up until it looks like this cool purple metal thing, and then I add in some purple alcohol ink to make it even more purple and wicked looking. I'm making him for a friend. He wants purple and silver. He should get it. Every few minutes you need to be popping bubbles. Hopefully you use a heat gun. I just have a lighter, so I'm using a lighter. Be careful when you do that on the alcohol ink ones. This technique involves using glue, a lot of it, but only a little if you're going to use color or additives and do kind of a two-step thing like I'm doing here. So I put some of it in a little cup, again popping bubbles every few minutes, and I'm just going to put the smallest amount of glue in here. For the 20 milliliters that I have in here, a single drop is more than enough. You want this to be very light on glue. It'll still turn out like slime. Don't worry, the glue's not going to inhibit the curing or anything like that. We need this to be less thick than the other one. So you just need to put a lot more glue in this one, and it's kind of a trial and error process. Put some glue in it. I put 5 drops in this one. It didn't look very thick. You want this one to be about twice as thick as the other one. So I put 5 more drops in this one and mixed it up again. You really can't mess it up by putting too much glue in there. I mean, don't make the whole thing glue, use your head, but you want it to be thicker than the other one. Still wasn't thick enough? Okay, I'm going to add 5 more drops of glue and let's just see what happens. To get the look that I'm going for, you're essentially taking a thinner resin and enveloping it in a much thicker resin so that it will stay in the very center. Now, I want the purple part to also have suspended bits in it, so I do still put some glue in it, but you don't really have to do that. Now, while your resin waits, remember to keep that timer going. That'll be important soon. Go ahead and get your dice molds ready. Always keep popping bubbles if you can. I do kind of a Hail Mary thing here at the last minute that I thought would be kind of cool with this spacey purple silver look and kind of dab it inside all of my molds willy-nilly. I had no reason to do this. I just thought it would look kind of cool, and we'll see if it does in the end. Just kind of wherever I want to put it, that's where I decided to put it. Now, the reason we have to do that timer is because resin has a working time. That's the time that you can mess with it before it starts to cure and harden. Mine is about 20 to 25 minutes, and I waited till about 20 minutes to start pouring my resin. You want it to be in the honey stage where it is extremely thick and kind of hard to pour. I waited until it was visually at that stage, and I shouldn't have done that. I start soaking up some of the resin in the pipettes. The glue will not impede your ability to do that. And I'm going to inject it directly into the center of my dice. I want it to kind of look like an orb that is floating and encased by this clear shell. That's what I'm going for. And you can see here visually, oh, it's very thick. It's in the honey stage for sure. But I have way too many molds, and I took too long doing this, so I don't even have time to mess with the cameras, so sorry for the sped up footage instead of some close-up shots. The extra extra D6 molds that I have in the back. You can't even see. I'm trying to stuff the purple resin down in the bottom of it with kind of popsicle sticks instead of the pipettes because they're no longer coming out of the pipettes. It's too thick. So I waited too long. Be about 20% of your working time left. That's when you want to start doing this. I waited until it was already visually starting to cure. That's a bad idea. I was afraid that these weren't going to cure at all as I was working with them, but I throw it in my pressure pot and pray, right? I've tried many, many times to get these to work. I thought for sure these were not going to turn out right this time, but hey, would you look at that? After 24 hours in the pressure pot at 30 PSI, I got no bubbles. And look, it's floating in the center. I'm a man. You can see they turned out exactly how I was hoping them to. I've been trying to make this work for like a year, and I just couldn't figure out that last little bit of having thicker resin encapsulate or envelop the thinner resin. And it works. It works every time now. Alphaland really was pivotal in me being able to figure this out, and I did. You can see here, I tried to push some of that resin down with popsicle sticks at the top, so it looks like it didn't work on some of these D6s, but that's not true. I was just trying to push it down, and it didn't work at all. So I have some extra D6s. Only one of them really turned out exactly how I wanted it to, because only one of them I had time to actually work with. But the ones I did work with the proper technique, they worked out great. Some of them got some bubbles. That just happens. I had an extra like 10 D6s I tried to make. One of them got a big bubble. That's why you really got to be popping bubbles when you're working on this stuff. They are extremely prone to bubbles. Some of these dice I didn't have to work on at all as far as like post prep, so I just took an X-Acto knife to the edge, but some of them have really raised lips. And this worked out amazing, and they look fantastic, so I'm going to really take my time sanding these to get those gone. Some of them I don't have to do anything at all. I'll just kind of scrape at the edges, but then I'll get my glass pane here out to have an extremely flat surface, and I'll start going through my Zona papers, which are essentially extremely high grit sandpapers. I'll do some wet sanding on them so I can minimize resin and mica powder that's in the air as I'm sanding these down. I go through all of the grits and take my time so that I can get a nice clean polish. These are a gift for a friend after all. I want them to look as good as humanly possible. Make sure you sand the edges of the raised lips as well. That'll help you get nice clean lines, and it'll look like you didn't even sand it at all in a good way. I would obviously ink them or color in the numbers gold, but my friend wants silver, so that's what I'm going to go for. I would like to do this enchanted steel speed paint because it's kind of got a blue hint to it, but I wouldn't really be able to do that in the numbers, so I'm just going to try this really bright silver and see how it turns out. You can always test it on one single number and then just wipe it away. You won't really have much residue left over if you try it. So I'm going to try this really bright silver on the number 3, and hey, I was thinking that looks pretty darn good. It actually, because it's so bright, it pops against the dark purple that's in the background of some of these, and I figured I'd ink up the ones that were kind of failure dice anyway. I might as well give him some extra since I have them. And man, I was really happy with how bright the silver was. So now I'm going to go ahead and ink the gold parts of the dice, which are the logos on the D6 and the D20s, because I like gold. I have a logo that has a dice goblin eating gold. That's just my favorite. I have the colors of the best Pokemon games, gold and silver, on my fingers as I wipe them all away and go to Goblin Green to paint in the Goblin. Now the logos are done. We just have to leave them to dry, and hey, those are looking pretty good, and that is one fine polishing job. I might be the best polishing I've ever done, but there is residue left over from the paint, so I'm going to take some 99.9% isopropyl alcohol and take a microfiber cloth and just wipe it away. You can see how quickly it goes away here. Just one or two little passes and all of the excess paint is gone, and you have really clean looking numbers and fantastic looking dice. I would describe myself as pleased as punch right now. These dice look so freaking good. The kind of last minute Hail Mary I did with that purpley silver mica on the outside makes everything look a little hazy, and honestly that's pretty good, but where I sanded away here on like the one's face, you can see what it would have looked like if it was completely clear on the inside. And man, that looks good too. I may have to try these again just to make myself a set, because gosh dang it, they're looking good. I actually like the D10s the best, which is rare. It's not often that D10s are my favorite. Usually it's the D12 that's my favorite die in a set. But all in all, I'm really pleased with how these turned out. Even after the polishing job, I've spent a lot of time and effort and many reattempts on this technique. And hey, they look good and they sound good too. It's always a bit unfortunate when you're gifting somebody a set and you roll nat ones on the test rolls. Hey, what are you going to do? I'm not rolling with them. Now, 2 critical fails in test rolls, now that would be rough. But 3? That's, I'm sorry, buddy. I really didn't mean to, I promise. All in all, extremely pleased with the set, and it has been a long time coming. I've been trying to make these for a friend for ages. I promised him for a birthday gift, and it has taken over a year, so it kind of is a double birthday gift here. So we finally got him, but I think there's something poetically beautiful about needing to lean on another friend to be able to figure out the solution to a problem, to be able to help make these for another friend. So I just think that that's cool, and I'm very happy that I'll finally be able to send them off to him, and I really hope that he enjoys. And you know what? Hey, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and like or subscribe to the channel. If not, go ahead and dislike it. I'm happy to hear that too. It lets me know what kind of videos that you like. Let me know what other colors or dice combos I should do in the comments down below. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.